Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. When it comes to choosing a movie that will keep you glued to your seat, few genres are as thrilling and spine-chilling as horror. With the eerie atmosphere of autumn closing in, it's the perfect time to immerse yourself in stories that send shivers down your spine. If you're a fan of the genre, then this September brings a lineup of terrifying gems across Netflix and Prime Video that are bound to satisfy your craving for something sinister. In this list, we're diving into the top 7 best horror movies you can stream right now, ranging from psychological thrillers to supernatural frights, ensuring that every horror enthusiast finds their perfect nightmare. Number 7. The Popes Exorcist. The story of the Popes Exorcist is set in 1987 Rome and follows Father Gabriele Amorth, who has performed hundreds of exorcisms throughout his decade-long career. However, when he travels to Spain in the hopes of uncovering the mystery behind a peculiar case involving a boy named Henry, who is supposedly possessed by a powerful evil spirit, he begins to crack the centuries-old conspiracy that is far more complicated than the cases he has solved in the past combined. When The Pope's Exorcist was released in April 2023, many horror fans had minimal expectations of how the film would turn out. But, much to their surprise, Russell Crowe's performance flipped their expectations. An otherwise middling exorcism film was transformed into something far more exciting, though generic. And despite the film incorporating a few predictable scenarios, it certainly brought a new faith in the genre of exorcism horrors, which had been declining in quality for the past decade. Crowe's performance is both engaging and commanding, bringing depth and complexity to his role as the Vatican's chief exorcist. His portrayal of Amorth, sharp-witted, fearless, and unorthodox, injects a unique energy into the film, setting it apart from the typical depictions of priests in horror. The movie's narrative is inspired by the real-life accounts of Amorth, making the events feel even more chilling and immersive. The atmosphere is rich and foreboding, with stunning cinematography that captures the haunting beauty of ancient cathedrals and hidden passages. The film's pacing keeps viewers hooked, and the exorcism scenes are visually arresting, balancing suspense with well-crafted scares. Number 6. The Ritual. Directed by David Bruckner with a script by Joe Barton, The Ritual follows a group of friends who hike in the Swedish wilderness to honor a fallen comrade who lost his life in a mugging. Things turn for the worse when the group suddenly finds themselves adrift, hurt, and lost in the woods. To make matters worse, they're not alone. As the movie progresses, each party member begins to hallucinate while a malevolent presence stalks them and takes them out individually, which is basically where the film gains momentum. It's a gripping story that takes hold of your senses by sparking fear out of the left field. You don't expect this film to get scary until it does. It's a film exploring guilt, grief, and ancient pagan rituals. The Ritual is a gripping and intelligent horror film that expertly balances psychological tension with supernatural horror. It's an unsettling experience that digs into the primal fear of the unknown, making it perfect for fans of atmospheric horror looking for something both haunting and thought-provoking. A must-watch for anyone who appreciates well-crafted scares and a storyline that leaves a lasting impression. Number 5. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies follows a group of friends who decide to hunker down from a pending storm and throw a hurricane party at a mansion. However, when it is suggested they play a game of murder mystery, real killings start to happen, and the friends group begins to panic while turning against each other. With the humorous tag of, "This is not a safe space," Bodies, Bodies, Bodies combines horror with modern-day social landscape. Leave it to A24 to take what looks like a mindless slasher aimed at teens and inject it with social commentary and visual style to make it a worthy addition to the company's ever-growing library of standout horror films. This is all boasted by a witty and humorous script that manages to poke fun at the characters' toxic traits, reliance on technology, and the superficiality of friendship that can erode when shallow characters are faced with real horrors. Still, the movie offers a fresh take on the slasher genre and is certainly a lot deeper than the party-heavy vibe the original trailer alluded to. Number 4. Cam. Alice is an ambitious and competitive cam girl looking to improve her following online. While she comes up with new ideas, she has some limitations that leave her behind other creators. However, when she awakes one day to see her channel hijacked by a duplicate of herself willing to push the boundaries, she begins to spiral into madness in a bid to both get her identity back and discover how this happened. Cam feels like a movie that is only going to become more relevant with time, as addiction and reliance on social media and parasocial relationships only increases. Not to mention AI technology that actually will lead to more believable identity theft and fake personas online. The movie's brilliant handling of technological paranoia already makes it a standout, but the strong performance from Madeline Brewer as Alice is what really cements the movie as a standout in the horror genre. The movie's climax is also wonderfully executed and intense, adding to an already well-constructed piece of psychological horror. Number 3. Thanksgiving. A year after a Black Friday riot in Plymouth, Massachusetts, that led to multiple deaths, including the wife of store manager Mitch Collins. The sleepy town looks to start anew with Thanksgiving celebrations and another sale. However, a figure in a Carver mask begins killing those involved in the previous riot, causing the police to investigate. Things grow grim when the Carver abducts a woman involved in the riots. Eli Roth offers a throwback slasher with his knack for brutal violence thrown in the mix to make Thanksgiving. Much like many classic slashers, the real draw here is the creative kills, with the Thanksgiving season offering up some delightfully dark holiday-themed violence. Simple but effective, this movie is ideal for those who want to cheer on some chaos and not dig too deep into the story. Number 2. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Taking place in 1968, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark follows a group of teenagers who, after discovering a haunted book, begin to be terrorized by the various monsters depicted within. To beat the curse, the teens look into the book's author, Sarah Bellows, and try to find a way to satiate her spirit and stop the creatures from haunting them. From the page to the screen, Alvin Schwartz's novels terrified many kids growing up. The iconic covers and creepy tales aimed at youths have been consistently popular since the first book was released in 1983. Having the work, particularly the art of Stephen Gammell, finally translated to the screen was a treat for many who grew up buried in scary stories to tell in the dark. The movie certainly does not disappoint in that regard, with the monster designs perfectly capturing the cover art of the books. This may not be the scariest on the list, but its atmosphere and nostalgic hook make it a treat. Number 1. Alone. Still reeling from losing her partner, young widow Jessica, Jules Wilcox, is in the process of moving across the Pacific Northwest when she has an awkward encounter with a man in a black Jeep. The man begins following Jessica and eventually ends up kidnapping her and bringing her to his remote home, where she is imprisoned in his basement. Even when given the chance to escape, her nightmare does not end as she becomes relentlessly pursued across the wilderness. Alone proves that sometimes the most simplistic approaches work best. The minimalistic and straightforward game of cat and mouse allows for a quick-paced, suspenseful thriller horror that engages from the opening moments. The performances of Jules Wilcox as the resourceful, quick-witted Jessica and Mark Menchaca as the creepy, intimidating stalker give strong performances to draw viewers into the story of survival. Well, this is it. Share your impressions in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to never miss a good movie again.